And in Nollywood, rising filmmaker Desmond Obiageli is set to bring to the big screen the strength of the human spirit and will in a new movie that chronicles some of the plight of victims of insurgency, militancy, banditry, and other security challenges in parts of sub-Saharan Africa. The new movie, The Milkmaid.
From juvenile delinquent to detective.
Following an impressive response to his debut caper movie, Render to Caesar from 2015, investment banker turned filmmaker Desmond Obiageli is back with a sophomore movie titled Milkmaid. Milkmaid follows a rural Fulani milkmaid in sub-Saharan Africa in a quest of reuniting with her sister, whom she was separated from by the activities of the local religious militants in the region.
Well, I was looking for a story that addressed some of the social issues in our environment, not just in Nigeria, but also in sub-Saharan Africa. We know that for the last 10 years, we've been dealing with incidences of insurgency and extremism, which have affected several thousands across the sub-region. So I was looking for a story that could capture an angle of that phenomenon that's currently going on in the West African sub-region in particular. And the film really, and the story was really inspired by the Nigerian 10 naira note. And if you recall the 10 naira note, at the back of the note, you have two Fulani milkmaids. And those milkmaids, the story is actually a creative imagining of what if those girls got caught up in an extremist situation, how their lives turn out. So the two main characters of the film are actually those two girls on that note. One is called Aisha, one is called Zainab, fictionally. But those are the two main characters of the film.
Although the story itself is not set in any particular real-life community, it mirrors the security unrest faced in sub-Saharan Africa and typically the northern parts of Nigeria, making the movie to reflect a bit of the security challenges, especially at this time when kidnapping, banditry and terrorism plagues select parts of the country, requires extra research.
Menene kike so?
Na neman yar uwata.
Menene zaki bada?
Mu kuma za mu koya miki yadda ya kamata har ki ce da mu kin gode.
Na yanke shawarin zan aurar da wannan mata.
Ba za ki bi umarni na ba. Daga mi ita daga nan.
Idan ta mutu ma?
I think I did a lot of research before I started writing the scripts, because obviously I live in Lagos State. I'm very far removed from the people who are actually experiencing these things. So I needed to immerse myself in that world. What goes on, where do they live, what are their hopes, what are their aspirations, how did this phenomenon, how does it impact them, and what are their lives after it's impacting them. So I read probably over 300 articles on the insurgency situation, just to try and immerse myself in the situation, so that when I'm writing the story, I'm writing about situations and scenarios that are credible. And these are human beings, both on the victim side and on the side of the perpetrators. But in many cases, there are people who are indoctrinated, they are misguided, and they have distorted views in terms of their beliefs. And in somewhere, they get, the ammunition to actually pick up, weapons and try and enforce their own worldview, not just on themselves, but also on innocent people. And that actually is the root of, what I read in my research in terms of how things are going on.
While the Nigerian female community operates chiefly from the southern part of the country, mainly in Lagos, Nigeria's southwest, Asaba in the south-south, plus Owerri in the southeast, Obiageli takes his production to Taraba State in the northeast, where there have been significant records of security incidents.
To be fair, our focus for the story is on the victims. Yeah? And really what we're trying to show and portray in the film is the psychological and emotional impact of what they go through. Now, issues in terms of indoctrination and all that, of course, we have to touch on those themes in the film, but that's not our focus. Our focus really is to try and raise awareness with the film of the plight that the victims go through, both those who have been killed and those who are still alive but are languishing in various IDP camps in the country without anybody really shining a spotlight on their situation and how they can get them out of that situation. So that's really the focus of the film. The indoctrination is just part of the, it's part of the context of the story, but the real story is the emotional and psychological plight of the victims of the story.
The Hausa language-based drama is about two sisters whose lives are shattered by an insurgency and gender-based violence, with a special focus on the understated plights of the victims, mostly women and children.
Taraba State, I knew as a state in Nigeria. What I didn't know was that it had such a beautiful landscape. I mean, I saw some pictures of the state on the internet. I didn't believe that was Nigeria. And someone assured me that go there for yourself and check it out. I went there to do reconnaissance. I was amazed at the wonderful, wonderful landscape. I mean, the state is richly blessed in terms of topography, and I was very convinced I needed to shoot this particular story in Taraba State. Invade the state with our filmmaking equipment. Of course, we had to reach out to the government to let them know what we wanted to do, what our hopes were. And they were quite keen to support us because they knew that we were going to showcase their state in all this beauty to not just a local audience but to an international audience as well. So they were quite supportive in giving us the requisite permits and all that to shoot the film. In terms of the people themselves, of course they were excited. They had never, I mean, there is a filmmaking industry there, but of course it's on the local level. We came in with heavy, high-powered, people and equipment and ammunition. Our cinematographer came down from the UK, Gaffer came from Kenya, so they hadn't seen this level of production there before, and they really took it to their hearts and were very, very cooperative.
Milkmaid will get a limited cinema release in Nigeria later this year.